Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. And sources have come back to identify Nicki Minaj as the person who put up the $100,000 to get her brother out of jail. As you all know, her brother, Jelani Maraj, 37, is facing charges of first-degree rape and first-degree course of sexual conduct for allegedly assaulting a 12-year-old on Long Island in New York City. The child's gender has not been identified, and I was going to say, Lord have mercy, I hope it wasn't a boy, but making it a girl would have made it any better. I believe this case started back in April, or these charges surfaced back in April, and I guess there wasn't anything that could really that the system could find to really make the charges stick. But apparently there was enough, I guess, with subsequent follow-up to hold him over. And I guess Miss Minaj didn't want her brother in jail, so she posted the money to get him out. He is due back in court, I believe, on December the 9th, in which case I guess they will have the final say as to whether or not they are going to, in fact, charge him, hold him over. And, when I first found out about this, man, I was like, this is one of them deals where you just don't want it to be true. If you know me, I'm not no Nicki Minaj fan by any stretch, but I wouldn't wish anything like this on anybody. I kind of left it alone, and I was like, well, something, because of her success, maybe somebody figured that they could maybe extort some money out of her by going after her brother and setting him up in some kind of way and trying to get a quick payday. But I don't know, so I just left it alone. And I was hoping maybe it would come back that somebody tried to set him up and he's not guilty and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Nobody knows except him. Probably we will never find out who the child was because of the age. So as of right now, everybody is kind of, skinny on the information. The Nassau County DA is not going to release anything. Nobody's going to say anything, I guess, until the official word comes down. But hey, man, if my man is found, or if he's found guilty and convicted, you're looking at up to 25 years in prison. And, like I said before, I really hope this is not true. Number one, from the standpoint of you don't want any kind of allegation like that dropped on somebody and have it not be true. But more so, I think, if it is true, and if your sister knew anything about this and she bailed you out of jail, we have proven time and time again that black lives do not matter to black people. And in this case, it will be a black girl's life or a little black boy's life that does not matter to grown black adults. This was the same Nicki Minaj who I thought, when it surfaced, was, I guess showed somewhat of a compassionate side when the Bill Cosby date rape photograph was floating around back during Halloween. And she kind of, she sent out the tweet that her generation was so desensitized. And I guess what that was saying was, she was criticizing the fact that the photograph was out there like that. Somebody could take issue and make fun of something like that. But then at the same time, this is the same Nicki Minaj that made a reference to herself not being related to Roman Polanski. And for those of you who don't know, Roman Polanski back in the day is like one of the most respected film directors of all time, but had to flee the country. He's currently living in France, I believe, for raping a 12-year-old girl, I believe. So I don't know, Miss Minaj. You may want to check your family tree there, because your brother and Polanski may be distant relatives at some point. So you don't know. On the one hand, and then at the same time, this is the same Nicki Minaj that I believe has said in interviews or statements that she wanted to be a positive role model for girls, for black girls, and based on your image and your music, I cannot fathom how that is possible. But the same Nicki Minaj that you're going to see in the upcoming Barbershop movie, the same Nicki Minaj that I believe was reportedly working on a family sitcom. When you make deals with the devil and the devil comes a collecting, boy, oh boy, does the devil come collected big. Now, obviously, this has nothing to do with her unless she knew about it, never said anything about it. She hasn't commented on it. Probably one of the most disturbing things, too, is that her brother was or is recently married. I think he got married to his girlfriend, and she paid for the wedding, and apparently brothers, she's very close with her brother, and but I love my brothers and sisters too. I love them dearly. But if any of my brothers, let me say, if any of my brothers were convicted of raping a 12-year-old, then that's it. I have nothing else to do with them. But we do have to say, and we have to be responsible, these are allegations that have not been proven to be true. So he is accused of it. We have to find out whether or not later on he actually did the crime. So I am not going to, call him a scumbag, low down, dirty rapist and child molester and all that stuff until it is proven to be true. So he is innocent till presumed guilty. And if he's guilty, yeah, in fact, he is a dirty, low down scumbag, child molesting rapist. I kind of backtracked with this story and thought about the girlfriend who bailed her drug dealing boyfriend out of jail. I think $9 million. This woman spent bailing this man out of jail twice. I believe it was maybe $3-4 million the first time, and then another $5 or $6 million the second time. So you dropped $188 million she won, and out of that, I guess you dropped $9 million to get a proven known drug dealer back out on the streets. And here we have this instance with an alleged child molester who would have sat in jail if it weren't for his sister bailing him out. And I don't know. I gotta imagine that there's some other women somewhere that have done the same thing. And when I say that, I mean some Latino woman out there somewhere, some white girl out there somewhere, some Asian girl out there somewhere. But it always comes back to us black folks doing the absolute stupidest, most irresponsible things. This issue with black women treating grown men like they are children, like they are little boys, grown men who cannot take responsibility for their actions, who cannot pay for their actions. And you can call it love, you can call it loyalty, you can call it whatever it is. It just seems like the average relationship when it comes to dealing with a lot of black women is absolutely poison. Black women either love the most miserable circumstances you can imagine to thrive in and be happy, or they just choose to just don't be happy at all. It's just you wallow in all of this negativity and all this stuff. And again, it would seem to me that Miss Minaj could do a lot better than, and I don't know. I guess I'm contradicting myself. Admittedly, if he's innocent till proven guilty, you bailing him out is it's on you, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But if he didn't have the money to bail himself out, he would have stayed in jail. So I don't know about this one. This is for me at least, it's just yet another example of just the absolute dysfunction of black men, the absolute dysfunction of black women, and when you get the two together, it's just, more dysfunction, with the understanding that we have plenty of functional relationships out there. These relationships apparently seem to be front and center in regards to how black women perceive themselves. Because if you don't perceive yourself as being worth more than a drug dealer that you spend $9 million on to get out of jail. If you don't perceive yourself to be more of a black woman, than a sister who has to post her brother out of jail because he may or may not be a child molester and a rapist. I guess there's no amount of money. I think Bruce Willis said it once, that money does not change you. All money does is amplify who you are. And I guess, these two examples, whatever was going on in the Minaj household has been there, and it just took it up to this point for it to come out. And, I don't know, man. So we will find out December 9th what's going on, if there's going to be a trial, if he's going to be held over, if in fact he is found guilty of child molestation and rape of a 12-year-old. You put a rapist back out on the streets. Certainly hope that that's not the case, but I guess we will find out December 9th. But once again, I tell you, man, directly, indirectly, when you deal with the devil is always going to collect, and the devil will collect big time. This is KTM in the Wake Up Report saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.